But the Pioneer Showcase Challenge happened this weekend, and that was the very high stakes Mox event where first place gets an invite to the Mox and an invite to the Pro Tour. And this particular deck list that you see in front of you actually made top 8 of the event. I don't know if it was top 8 or top 4. And this was something that we had wanted to try for a little bit. It might seem kind of innocuous, but with the printing of Cavern of Souls, I actually kind of think Gyruda gets quite a bit better because, previously your Goldfish on average is turn 4, but the problem was against control decks, you could never resolve Gyruda. So the printing of Cavern of Souls really does kind of fix that matchup by itself. I mean, this deck really hasn't changed that much outside of the Cavern of Souls for, this deck has been around for, multiple years at this point, and it really hasn't changed that much. We've, maybe swapped around the clones a little bit. I don't know if they were playing 4 Impersonator before, but yeah, so what this deck is aiming to do is just cast Gyruda, which says when it ETBs, each player mills 4, and then you get a creature card with an even mana value from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. So the creatures that you can hit off of this are one of these 16, which effectively allow you to keep going, right? So you can Spark Double or Clever Impersonator. These are all clones. They enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature. So you can copy Gyruda and keep going. In the case of Spark Double, what's important about this, very similar to the Quintorius deck that we played a little bit, is it's not legendary. So your Spark Double makes a non-legendary Gyruda, and then every clone that you hit after that, you copy the non-legendary Gyruda, so you can keep going and amass a giant battlefield. The end goal is eventually mill over the Kolaghan, and all of your stuff has haste. I'm thinking about this more. I'm wondering if this is worse than Doomscar Titan. I'm thinking about it in the case if they have a removal spell for Kolaghan. But I guess if they have a removal spell, they'd probably just fire it off on the first Gyruda, so that's likely not relevant. There's one Ghalta here, too, in case you, Gyruda into Ghalta and you have a bunch of clones in your hand, to kind of similar to when we were playing this in the Geological deck, kind of to unbreak your hand. So, I mean, the deck is very simple. It's a bunch of clones, or ways to trigger Gyruda, the one Kolaghan, and then just a pile of ramp spells. Now, again, the Gyruda restriction only allows you to play evens, so you're only allowed to play 2-mana ramp spells, while you'll notice there's no Llanowar Elves. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. The one nice thing about specifically Wolfwillow Haven and Irencrag, keep this in mind. Write this one down. These are actually part of your, I guess, quote-unquote nut draws, where, let's say, for example, you go turn 2, one of your Paradise Druid or Sylvan Caryatid, right? Turn 3, you play your 3rd land, you tap 2 mana, let's say you have Haven. You Haven, enchant the untapped land, and then you have that plus your other mana source, which is 3 mana to pick up Gyruda, and that gives you 6 mana on turn 4. So Haven is quietly probably the best card in the deck because it enables your turn 4 kills without drawing Gyruda. You can just pick it up from the Companion Zone. So keep that in mind as well. And then again, because of the Gyruda restriction, we're playing a bunch of evens in the sideboard, 8 ley lines for when those are good, Damping Sphere for Lotus, and then Archon for mono white. I don't know how good this deck is, but I do love casting Gyruda, so it's going to be at least a lot of fun. Here is my Gyruda. I have a 1-lander. Does have the Wolfwillow Haven. Actually has multiple Havens, but can't keep a 1-lander. One nice thing about this deck is I would say it does mulligan pretty effectively, because the thing that's so great about this deck is you don't really need to have any specific cards in hand, because you have your one card combo pieces in your Companion Zone. So you can basically mulligan any hand. You can go to 4 and still have a reasonable hand, mull to 4, 2 lands, 2 ramp spells. That's a good hand because your combo piece is already in your opening hand, effectively. Yeah, classic companions. I mean, it's also really sick when your companion is also your combo piece. That's the most fucked up part about it. Kolaghan on bottom. It's kind of weird. I kind of wish that Kolaghan was not the bottom card, Because there's like a reasonable chance that we like have to that we brick, not brick, but like can't mill the entire library. You know what I mean? Does it matter if we pick up Paradise Druid versus cast Gyruda? Pick up Gyruda. I think I'm gonna cast Druid in case I draw Gyruda. Does that make sense? And if I brick, I can just pick it up next turn. Could this deck be better if it played Binding? I don't think you can afford tap lands, Kepi. Tap lands are just too much of a liability. Get rid off the top. Not quite. Okay, Haven here. Alright, well, I'm gonna try and kill you next turn. Again, it is kind of awkward that the Kolaghan is the actual bottom card. There's a good chance we can't mill our entire library. But maybe. Assuming that we have enough triggers to mill our entire deck, then we can kill them. But ideally, you kind of want the Kolaghan like halfway down. Doesn't look like an F to me. No, I think it's you, Tomber. I'm looking pretty good on my side. Tomber, you gotta get better internet. Classic Coco. They hit an elf and nothing else. Alright, well, let's see if our opponent's dead. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, will our opponent be dead? Had little Fs as well. I mean, the stream looks fine on my side. Okay. Keep this. Okay. Alter to Ego. Really want to find like a Spark Double at some point. Yeah, the stream looks fine on my side. Clone. Keep this. There we go. There's the Spark Double. Because now we can just start copying the Spark Double, which is nice. Ooh, we actually hit the Ghalta too, which is pretty good. Because we have 3 clones in hand. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Now we shouldn't miss now, right? So copy this, copy this, copy this. 3 more triggers. I guess we can get a Spark Double. Copy this. Get a Wispweaver Angel. Yeah, that should be good enough, right? Wispweaver, blank this. Get another trigger. Ego. Copy Angel. Angel, where's the original Gyruda? Here it is. This is some Pioneer gameplay. Hey, it's turn 5, okay? I don't want to hear it. It's turn 5. It's not like it's turn 4. Choose a creature or planeswalker to copy. I'll copy Wispweaver Angel. It's not like it's turn 4, chat, you know? Sylvan Caryatid. So I can attack them for lethal while they have no cards in library. That's kind of sick. Just in case that they had some way to prevent decking in their hand, you know? Is that like a... Would you consider that a flawless victory while your opponent has no cards in their library and you're attacking for lethal? That's pretty close to flawless, right? I mean, they had some permanents in play. Yeah, if only I was at 20. How does this deck ever beat aggro? Prage. Ooh, is this card good against angels? So 4 mana 3/2 flying pro white. Creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. This seems much more effective against like mono white humans. I don't know if it's very good against angels. Right, because they just attack you with like a bunch of big stuff. Yeah, you can actually get infinite life if you have 2 Wispweaver Angels plus Prosperous Innkeeper. That gives you infinite life, which is kind of cool. Yeah, like I know it has pro white, but it doesn't seem like it's that effective. They're not going as wide as mono white humans, right? Like that card seems cracked against humans. What's up, Malik? They're just not sideboard. Yeah, they go tall. I'm just not going to sideboard. I don't know what they have for... What are good sideboard cards against Gyruda? I don't even know. Because Leyline doesn't work. For those of you who think Leyline work, the way that Gyruda is worded means that it beats Leyline in Rest in Peace. So, like, what could you even sideboard against this? I guess Torp Orb stuff. Struck Proctor. Proctor's good. Yeah, Elish. Those kinds of cards. Yeah, Cage too. Yeah, imagine they bring in Rest in Peace. Containment Priest works too. Yeah, any of the, like, stop ETB effects. Yeah, there's a decent amount. This hand's good. We keep it. Finally, you listened to me. All it took Soda Master was somebody to top 8 the Showcase Challenge with it. Yeah, Hallowed Moonlight too. Redain does not work. Yeah, Moonlight. All that stuff. Soulless Jailer. Do I have to sideboard cards in Gruul for Gyruda? No. People aren't going to play this in Atlanta, right? Surely people won't play this in Atlanta. Yeah, I did not want to draw those 2 cards. Guess we lead on Druid. See, it's spots like this where the Ghalta looks good. Okay. I thought Gyarados got invalidated by fire. Nothing will ever invalidate Gyarados. Oh shit, that's bad. So I have to get the 8 mana now? Hand's not very good at getting to 8 mana. I could Spark Double my Paradise Druid. I guess that's my plan. Timmy, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody from Timmy's stream. Okay, so plan here. This is 4 mana. If I double here, that gets me to 5. Next turn I go land, Innkeeper. That's 7 mana, pick up Gyruda. And then if I rip a land in the next 2 draw steps, I have 8 mana in 2 turns. Math checks out, right? But I have to play double here. I think the math checks out on that. It's a good sideboard card against Gyruda. Oh, Peacekeeper? Yeah, Peacekeeper's very good. That is a good card against my deck. It's kind of funny that I have a 3-2 Paradise Druids that can't even attack with the Peacekeeper. Strictly better Quintorius combo. I do agree with that, yes. I definitely agree with that. Because you get the Cavern uncounterable. You can't Cavern your Quintorius. So I do agree with that statement. How was your stream, Timmy? I saw you were playing the Fiery Temper Rakdos deck. It looked kind of sweet. Alright, so Innkeeper, pick up Gyruda, and this gives us 7 mana. Let me have 8 next turn. Alright, well, don't kill me. Yeah, you can at FNM. It is what it is. Yeah, it does seem like it's pretty RNG. You draw like too many Tempers with no discard outlets, or too many discard outlets with enough payoffs. What do you think about playing Hollow One in that deck? I saw your list from the challenge, and I was like, this looks like a pretty decent Hollow One deck. What's up, Snack Bar? All of your oversized anime cards are broken because of the stupid airline. You should have had them, like, I don't know, shipped somehow. I guess UPS would probably also break them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 11. It's not lethal. Yeah, that's true, Timmy. That's a good point. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have infinite life, but I can also just kill them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to go for infinite life. I mean, this is maybe a spot in paper. See, here's the thing about playing this deck with Magic Online versus paper is like, well, can I actually go for infinite life here? No, I can't, right? Oh, I could Angel this, copy Angel. So I think this is an exact spot where in paper I would go for infinite life, but I can't do it on Moto because, you know, my opponent's under no obligation to concede. Infinite life is 2 Angels with an Innkeeper. Yeah, so this is definitely a spot where in paper I would go for infinite life, but I can't do that in Moto. Okay, well, I mean, I might as well do this anyways, right? Copy this. I'm gonna do it a couple of times, and then eventually blink Gyruda, just to like show them, you know, just to show them, like, hey, what's up, dog? I don't think their deck couldn't beat Infinite Life. Right, I'm gonna do this like, I don't know, maybe 10 iterations and see what's up. But yeah, it just gives you another combo. Yeah, who's the life gain deck now? Gaining infinite life against angels. I don't know if Moto tries to stop the loop. I think because I'm clicking each individual time, it won't. All right, they scooped. Yeah, see? This is exactly what we were hoping for. This hand's good. What's up, DT? How did Pioneer become a life gain format? I don't know. Is this my deck for Atlanta? Probably not. I mean, if I just, like, crush everybody today with it, maybe I'll try and get the cards. Oh, boy. Whenever you, and or at least one permanent you control, become the target of a spell or ability... Well, I guess I won't target you, then. Leyline jump scare. What the... Dude, let opponent cook. Ooh, I wonder if they're doing, like, Red Devotion, right? Leyline plus Sunken Citadel Nykthos. Okay, that's kind of based. Honestly, kind of based. Yeah, opponent's kind of based right now. What's the Atlanta shortlist? Some form of Rakdos, Gruul, and Convoke. But maybe this deck. This deck is... I mean, I only played one match, but... Fanatical Firebrand. Okay, we just jammed double Druid here. Jam double Druid in case we just draw the Gyruda. And if not, we can pick it up next turn. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm shying away from Convoke, because it's so bad into Amalia. Yeah. At least Gruul has kind of a chance. Like, you can play a stack of Rending Volleys. And I was even thinking about... playing Ferocidon in my Gruul sideboard, which I think is a really good card against Amalia. You got my Copters. I have 2 of them, but I still have 2 more days to get the other package in the mail. So I hope I'll get them in the next 2 days. But as of right now, I have 2 copies. Dude, you know what they're going to do? They're going to cast Chain Whirler, aren't they? They definitely have Chain Whirler in their deck, right? There's no shot they don't. How much Amalia do I expect? I am, like, not convinced that everybody is going to be able to get enough copies of that card. Because, like, the deck has so many random cards that are hard to obtain. I'm not confident that people are going to, you know, I don't know how much that should that should factor into my decision. But I wouldn't expect a ton of it. Yeah, this deck also seems horrendous into Amalia. This Gyruda deck. Alright, we win. Wispweaver. Boot, copy this. Cool, they scooped. Nice deck. Okay, Mono Red Devotion, huh? Do I even want Sanctity against them? I don't think so. What's the chance to brick? Basically 0? I mean, you can, but, like, the brick is just passing with, like, 4 5/5s. You know? That's the brick, which their deck also can't beat. Yeah, Return to the Ranks. I think I checked on TCG today. I think it was, like, a $10 card. That card's going to be hard to acquire. And it's just, like, there's some random cards. Like, Chord is, like, $15, I think. This is the Gyruda list from the top 4 of the showcase. Or, top 8, rather. Yeah, this deck top 8 of the showcase this weekend. Yeah, Return's like a $10 card now. I think it spiked over the weekend. Does Leyline stop? No. The way that Gyruda is worded, so Gyruda specifically says, put a creature card with an even from among the milled cards onto the battlefield, which means that even if you Leyline or Rest in Peace this deck, you still get the cards from Gyruda, which is kind of gross. So, like, the Rest in Peace Leyline stuff does not do anything against this deck. Yeah, this is the nut draw. This is turn 2 Haven plus pick up Gyruda. Like, you want Haven in every opening hand. Is the pod in consideration for Atlanta? You mean Vanifar? No. No, they basically power crept Vanifar by printing Amalia. Amalia is just a better creature combo deck than Vanifar. Not draw lands and spells. No, specifically Haven. Because Haven has haste, effectively. Haven is the best card in this deck. It's not close. You'll see why. Yeah, Amalia does also seem impossible for Merfolk to beat. If you want to shit on Amalia, play some Grafdigger's Cages. How does Cage help? I mean, what if they just draw their combo pieces? Cage doesn't do anything, right? I mean, it stops their chords and returns and Cocos. It stops their power spells, but what if they just draw their combo pieces? You know? Which they do. I get that it stops some things, but I don't think it's like a slam dunk. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think as a Gruul player, Taimu, I would much rather have Rampaging Ferocity on my sideboard, and I think that's the card that I'm going to end up registering if I'm worried about Amalia. I think Ferocity is probably your best bet as Gruul. Oh shit, we're like super dead, aren't we? Kind of wish I had drawn a basic land, because now I might get Field of Ruined, but it is what it is. Don't kill me. I have 8 in play. Good chance I'm just dead. Thoughts on Ferocity in the main deck of Gruul? No. I don't think I want to main deck Ferocity. I think it's only a sideboard card. Like, would you consider playing Ferocity over Warden of... Not Warden, but the Sentinel dude? Oh, am I just dead? Okay, well. Turn 4 format, I guess, huh? Alright, game 3. Well, I guess I lost the die roll, so... Does Fnatic target each opponent? Come on, man. Let me leyline you. Well, you'd have to cut a 3-drop if you wanted to main deck Ferocity, which I'm not sure that you do. I could consider it. Like, I don't think it's unreasonable to main deck Ferocity. It's a very aggressive card. It's like when you're on the play with turn 2 Ferocity, a lot of decks have a hard time beating that. I'm not super opposed to it. But I think it only helps, like, percentages in very specific matchups. Like, it's bad against Phoenix, bad against Rakdos. Actually, is it bad against Rakdos? It stops the Shieldred life gain. Maybe it's not that bad. It stops Cat life gain, too. It's, like, really good against Cat. Maybe main deck Ferocity is the move. Yeah, you could play one main deck, too, because you have 4 of the enchantments. We could do, like, one main deck, 2 sideboard. I don't hate that idea. Honestly, kind of into it. Yeah, turn 2 Ferocity versus Sec. Yeah, it's good against Convoke, too. Right, well, here's what I'm saying, Dustin, is, like, if you main deck 1 copy, we effectively get to play 5 because we have Huntsman's Redemption. So, like, the first copy is very low, you know what I mean? Like, it's low opportunity cost, and then you just sideboard the other copies for Amalia and Angels. It's good against Angels, too, if people play that shit. I don't really expect people to play Angels, but it could happen. I guess I can use 1 Cavern on Plant, right? Should be fine. Just to take less damage. Shouldn't be a huge issue. Yeah, the first is like very, very, very good value. As an Amalia player, what's my out to Ferocity? They usually have push in the board. I think most Amalia decks have 3 pushes in the sideboard. And you could play like 1... Oh, don't even need to pick it up now. Push in the board, and you could also play Skyclave too, because you have a bunch of ways to tutor Skyclave. What's up, Buwalda? What's my 3-drop split currently? I posted the list on Twitter, but I'll show you. I do have it rented. I was planning on playing it later today. So the main deck is 3 Bonecrusher, 4 Stormseeker, 2 Thrill, 2 Lovestruck, 2 Sentinel, 4 Redemption. I cut the 4th War, and I'm trying 1 Abrade main. That's where I was at. Dumake wins the match. Cool. Good deck. Beast seems mid. Lovestruck Beast is insane with Copter. Not insane, but like it gives you another late game card that's like just like something to fill the curve that gives you a 1/1 to crew Copter. It's been pretty good for me. And it's also the biggest thing that you can do with the Thrill Seeker combo. So like if you have Thrill Seeker, you just search for Lovestruck, cast it, then the next turn make it a 7/7 trample, Thrill Seeker make it a 9/9, that's 18 damage. So it's just like the biggest thing that you can have with Thrill Seeker. So I think it's good. Roll to 5. Can't you just kill the Copter Palace with Bone Crusher? Yeah, well, here's the issue, Golden Experience, right? If your opponent plays turn 2 Copter, right, and you hold up 2 mana, they go, say they play Fable. They go Fable, Crew Copter. You have to kill their Fable token, but they get a guaranteed attack with the Copter that turn, which is like, that's the sketchy part, is giving them that Copter attack. Because you can't kill it. You know, sure, you can kill the pilot, but they still get to attack with Copter that turn. Alright, we're dead. We are dead. I would assume we're dead. I mean, I'm going to do what I can. Still have to draw land next turn. Am I dead? What's up, Curd Bros? Curdy B in the house. Oh, cool, we died. Alright, that was fun. Can mill them out. No, I'm just dead. They attacked me for 20 with a Malia. Literally just dead. Alright, game 2. Yeah, could do like one Lovestruck, one Frostodon. I don't hate that. Or cut the second Sentinel. Sentinel's like really hit or miss for me. I don't know how to feel about that card. There's some spots where it's good and some spots where I feel like it could be anything else and I wouldn't care. People who have played Gruul, what are your thoughts on Sentinel of the Nameless City? It feels like a very hit or miss card for me. I'm not a huge fan of it. I thought it was going to be a lot better than it is. Yeah, it just feels so meh, you know? Yeah, it's really good in specific matchups, like red decks. When your opponent's playing with Fiery Impulse, then having a 3/4 is just, like, insane. Alright, Pete. I have a turn 4 kill. Will I get the turn 4? Who knows? I feel like I'm not going to get the turn 4, but we'll try. I'll do what I can, you know? Feels like every time I play against a melee, I get Natural Tron. Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of the vibe that I get to. I had more success when I named Kraken, so I guess I'll name Kraken instead of Demon. Strategical reasons. Can you play Sword and Red-Green out of the Karna's Band? What do you would only really want Sword for the mirror, though, right? Not great. Am I supposed to Clever Impersonator by Wolfwillow Haven? I think I am. It's just the most efficient use of my mana. I'll chain a different land in case they have some weird, like, I don't know, fucking land destruction. Clever the Bats. Yeah, but I think advancing my own game plan is better. Like, if I do it like this and just draw Gyruda, they're dead, you know? Yeah, they could have Boseiju. Alright, well, I guess I hope you don't have second bat. Brage. Brage no second bat. Okay, that doesn't matter. Yep, that's fine. Are you dead? Look dead to me. Look pretty dead to me. Sure. I don't think it matters. Need to find a Spark Double. Oh, I bricked. I guess I'll bat them. Sure. That's a pretty good one to hit when they have returned when I'm milling them with Gyruda, huh? It's a pretty good one to hit. Glad I did that. Go again next turn. I don't think I want to trade. I think I prefer to have mine in play. I think I'll pass on the trade. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cast Spark Double. Copy. Trigger. I bricked again? Fuck. This is bad. Nice deck. You see, chat, the problem with this Gyruda deck is that it's just a little too good. Just a little too good. Alright, your turn. Deck, I guess? They can't... Oh, they have the Goose. Well, that's fine. It's just a free life. Maybe we can Amalia combo with Gyruda. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could have gotten an Amalia. Maybe. Maybe this deck doesn't have enough clones. That could be the case. Okay. You can just start going beatdowns, right? Just sandbagging it so I can play in Atlanta? Yeah, true. Are we just not making a food? Okay. Interesting choice. Don't kill me, please. Twitch told me I watched you 500 hours. That's a lot of hours. Damn. The Irencrag is very interesting. The thing about the Irencrag is it's basically just a 5th Wolfwillow Haven, but you don't want to play 2 copies since it's legendary. And Haven, as I said earlier, is part of your best draws. Like, the reason Haven is so good is because it sets up the, turn 2 ramp, turn 3, Haven, enchant land, 3 mana, pick up Gyruda, turn 4, land Gyruda, and Irencrag is another card that allows you to do that. But you don't want to play 2 because, again, it's legendary. This deck has 25 lands, which might be too many. Not dead. Don't have Amalia. 4th Druid or 3rd Innkeeper. Yeah, but again, like, Druid Innkeeper is not part of your nut draw. That's the issue. Both of these combo decks are operating at full capacity. That's the moral of the story here. Both decks operating at 100% capacity. I got enough to, like, hardcast Emrakul right now. Just saying. You know what I hope comes up is Irencrag with Gyruda. That's what I hope comes up. You draw Amalia? Nope. Alright, no Amalia. Pog. Are there spell lands you can play to make flooding on as bad? The one you would want to play the most is Glasspool Mimic, but unfortunately you can't with Gyruda. Trying to think. Turn Timber is 3. Seagate is 7, so you can't play either of those. Balaget is 3, can't play that one. Yeah, it feels like all the best ones are odd. Yeah, all the best ones are odd. Mauling? Yeah, you want it to be green or blue, though, you know? This hand's a keep, right? We need to find 2 lands, but I think it's a keep. Love the draw. Could play Takenuma, I guess, yeah. Takenuma could be okay. How broken would Phantasmal Image be? I don't know. I would want to play a Phantasmal Image in, like, a Merfolk deck. Copy a Lord. Image copy Hexcatcher. Yeah, they did ban Amalia, which is interesting. Worth noting. Okay, good draw. I'm going to save the Otawara. So it'll be Druid this turn. Next turn, Otawara, Haven, pick up Gyruda. Okay, that's not good. Hit a Mana Confluence. Played a Forest. Cenote Scout. Okay. Please don't hit Walker. Revealed Haywire Might. I can beat that. I graveyarded that. Revealed Cenote Scout, which maybe I can beat. They can Chord for the combo? Yeah, if they have Chord. They haven't revealed Chord yet. We don't know for sure they have Chord. We still have to draw on land next turn, too, right? Alright, hope this is good enough. I could choose to not pick up Gyruda and, like, play another mana source, but then I'd have to draw exactly Gyruda, and by picking up Gyruda, I can just draw any untapped land and that kills them. Less so now. Return to the ranks versions don't play Chord. That's not true. The version from the top 8 of the version that won the showcase had ranks and Chord. Actually, I would say most of them have both, right? That's like that's the stock list. Okay. I mean, I'm probably dead. Revealed Coco. Shit. Yeah, because I need to find a land and a Gyruda, and I can't draw both with one draw step unless I cheat. And they have this, too. Their draw was really good. Alright, well, I guess I'll do this and pretend like I am not dead, even though I'm very likely dead. Because they have Coco on top. Didge to Wealth Growth Walker. Alright, you win. Cool. Combination of, like, removal, graveyard hate, plus pressure. Like, there are specific sideboard cards. Like, the can't gain life stuff is pretty good against them. No, I didn't check out the vintage results. So they're playing Lotus? Looks like Lotus. Yeah, I think a lot of the Rakdos decks are going to play the 1 black 2/2 players can't gain life. I think that card's going to be very, very, very popular in Rakdos sideboards. I don't think we've laughed enough that Grief winning the Euro tournament last weekend. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm really focusing on Pioneer right now. But yeah, for those of you who didn't know, Rakdos won Rakdos won the first big Modern event after Fury got banned. So, you know, I just think it's funny. Yeah, why is Grief still legal? Nobody knows, but nobody knows, chat. Nobody knows. Hardcast Vizier. I know, it was so funny. It was so funny. Okay, life total doesn't matter against them. Grief's just, like, chilling over there in the corner. Just laughing maniacally. What else were they scamming with? No, just Grief. You don't need anything else. I mean, Grief Scam is still... turn 1, pitch Grief Not Dead After All, is still the best possible thing that you can do on turn 1 in the entire format. There's nothing better than that opening. So, like, I'm not surprised that the deck is still doing well. MH3 would probably softban Grief. Yeah, maybe. Is there a reason to be red over white then? I mean, the support cards, right? Like Ragavan, Terminate, Fable, red sideboard cards, Blood Moon. Like, there are some powerful red cards they're still playing. Am I dead? I don't think I'm dead, but I have to draw Gyruda. Yeah, Blood Moon too. Blood Moon is probably, like, the single most important card that red gives you. Because it really changes the dynamic of your big mana matchups. MH3 gives us Grief, but it's Hymn to Turok instead of Thoughtseize. I'd play that card. Seems like a pretty appropriate power level card. Reasonable. Yeah, I think that might have been the only Rakdos deck to convert to Day 2. And I think, like you said, all the other Rakdos decks did poorly. Should I Boseiju now? No. I should probably get them to use mana first, right? Do I want to attack with Paradise Druid is the question. I think it's fine, because even if they minus Chandra to kill both Druids, I still have 6 mana, right? So, like, I don't care about the Druids that much. Yeah. Man, it's like kind of a free roll. I still have 2 mana for Boseiju. And the nice thing about waiting on Boseiju is it basically spends 2 of their mana, which I think could be important. It's crazy to me Lotus Field is doing mid-Chandra things. I mean, they probably just didn't find their combo. I mean, they did cast 2 Impulses last turn. There's a good chance they have their combo now. But the question is, like, you know, will they be able to do it through a Boseiju? The answer is probably yes, but that's all I got. Because they could just add mana with Chandra, and yeah, we're probably dead this turn. I know. I agree with Yorick. The Horizon sets are really, really good limited sets. You know, for all the harm that they did to constructed formats, they are still really good limited sets. Am I dead? The answer is probably yes. So this is draw 6, make 8 mana. Cool. Seems good. Yeah, good for Cube too, for sure. Days in MH3? I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Anything could happen. They have to discard? Yeah, that's true. They do have to discard 1 card. 2 cards, I guess. Yeah, MH2 might be one of the best limited formats of all time. That limited format was so fucking good. Maybe they just drew 6 lands. Oh, I forgot that Khans on Arena. Is that this week? Is that maybe we finally get Delve cards on Arena? Are they giving us fetch lands too? Not the fetch lands banner for Pioneer, of course. It's tomorrow. That's sick. So now we can actually test Phoenix on Arena. That's good. Is it all the Delve cards? Cruise Dig and, like Cruise Dig, Angler, Mandrills, Trespass? I know. I find it so hilarious that they did something on the ban list that is probably the single most impactful thing that they could have even conceived to do to the Pioneer format. And, you know, they keep wanting to, they keep saying, like, you know, we're making Explorer this much closer to Pioneer. And then they unban Copter, and then it's just a completely different format. Like, it is wild. Pioneer with Copter and Pioneer without Copter are just 2 different formats. It's insane. No Trespass? Really? That's kind of weird. They did say they're going to fast-track Copter. Oh, did they? That's good, at least. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard, because it was in the beta. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but Copter was in the beta when they, like, in the open beta when they released it back in 2019, or 2018. And it got removed when they introduced version 1, I think, because it rotated out of standard. Yeah, I guess that's true. They did change the code base, yeah. It's probably not as easy as I'm making it out to be. Was Kaladesh not released? Kaladesh Remastered was, but at the time they released Kaladesh Remastered, Copter was still banned in Pioneer. So they chose not to implement it because they're like, well, what's the point of putting Copter on Arena if people can't play it? Yeah, I guess like Brawl, Historic, all that kind of stuff. I got nothing to... I feel like I should be dead. They have 10 cards in their hand. I don't think I'm doing that. I don't know. Are fetches legal in Historic? I believe so, yes. I'm pretty sure that the fetches are legal in everything but Explorer and Standard. Right? So, like, Historic, Timeless... Oh, they're banned in Historic. Really? Okay, interesting. It's kind of weird. Why would they do that? I'm sure there's a reason. This is the first time we've sideboarded, by the way. Text perfect. I'm going to cut... I'm just going to cut 3 random ramp spells. Maybe the Ghalta. Okay. I could shave a land, maybe. Keep the Ghalta. Just have 3 different caverns. Shout out to Mana Traders, by the way, for giving me 3 different caverns. Ooh, that's a good question. What would rebalanced fetch lands look like? Like, if they chose to rebalance fetch lands for Alchemy, what would be the quote-unquote fixed version of fetch lands? 5 life enters tapped. Oh, wait, no. I want to put the Ghalta back in the deck. Yeah. So, does the land that you fetch enter tapped, or does the fetch land enter tapped? Seek instead of search. I don't know what seek means. I don't know what that word means. Let me look at top 10. Yeah, okay. 5 life. That would make Death Shadow a lot better. Seek is Cascade for the first eligible card. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying, like, Seek so that you would just fetch whatever the first land you would... Like, the first land off the top of your deck, right, would be the idea. It's kind of interesting. That would be, like, a good way to do it for alchemy or stuff like that. Na. What is this? This is Magic the Gathering. More specifically, Magic the Gathering Online. If I die here... I mean, I had to play the Druid over the Damping Sphere. It's not close. Okay. Well, they still have no green mana. Land would be so good here. Alright, go. Please don't kill me. I need time. I need time. Triumphs were such a design mistake. I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Triumphs. Or at least, like, if you're gonna do Triumphs, just make them not cycle. You know, why do they cycle? There's, like, almost no downside. Sure, they enter the battlefield tapped, but... What if we double the sphere? Well, I'm going to cast Clever Impersonator. If they let it resolve, I'm not sure what I'm copying. I haven't decided that yet. If they let it resolve, I might copy the sphere. I think they're going to Boseiju now, though. Sure. Alright, your turn. They have 4 cards in hand. Surely I'm not dead, right? How are they 9 minutes behind, by the way? I guess I haven't done anything. Surely I'm not dead, right? Surely I'll get one more turn. They only have, like, 1,000,000 mana. Would a fixed wooded foothills be? It only gets a basic forest or mountain. Yeah, so kind of like... So, for those of you who don't know, they made the original, quote-unquote, original fetch lands were... I think they were in Mirage or Visions, one of those two sets. And what they were... They were... Hold on. Let me get the exact text on it. So they ETB tapped, and then you could tap, sacrifice, search your library for a mountain or forest put onto the battlefield. So they didn't specify basics, but the land itself ETB tapped. So I guess that's like the fixed version, right? That would be the fixed version of fetch lands. Like, don't pay a life, but ETB tapped. I don't like keeping hands with only one ramp spell. It's gonna go to 5. Oh, sure. Yeah. It's like perfect design, but you don't need anything like... Fable Passage is, I agree. That's like, in terms of a card that searches your library for a specific land type, Fable Passage is like the top. That's like the highest power level that you should be doing fetch lands at. Oh. Well, my opponent conceded the match. Chat, what do we think?